Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today I have a client who says she just wants a natural beat. Nothing extra, no blush, just a simple, cute birthday glam. So right now I'm starting off. Of course, you saw me brushing the eyebrows. So I was just brushing the eyebrows, her natural eyebrows, just in the direction where they naturally flow. And then I begin to line with the Benefit pencil in 4.5, and I'm just lining her eyebrow. I'm not doing anything extra. I'm just lining her eyebrow in the shape that it's already in. I take small strokes, just like hair-like strokes. I basically fill it in just like that, and then I go into the front of the eyebrow, and I just kind of go in the up and downward position with the pencil just to create fake hair-like strokes in the front. And I do the same thing with the eyebrow, and you'll just kind of see me. I'm kind of in the fast mode that I have it in, but I'm just doing small little strokes just so that it can symbolize, little hair-like strokes. Oh, I'm just using these 24K patches, and I just place them under the eyes, and they're supposed to help with swelling and discolorations to underneath the eyes. So I am taking the Kevin Aquan, of course, in shade XX13, and I'm lining the eyebrow. So this is basically how you shape the eyebrow, and I'm using the Morphe brush in M432. It's the brush that has, a straight square shaped. I like using this brush, and I just take my time and I go slowly underneath the eyebrow. Oh, and of course I'm using the NYX the brow gel, and I'm just brushing it through the eyebrow just so that I can keep her eyebrow in the same direction through the day. So it stays in place. Her hair stays in place. And you'll see me use that same concealer, the Kevin Aquan, and I bring it down to her eyelid. And that's just what I use for the primer for her eyeshadow. Here I'm just using a fluffy e.l.f. brush, and I'm just blending out the concealer on the eyelid so it's not thick, because the Kevin Aquan concealer can be really thick. So I'm just brushing it out so that it, is not too thick. And I am using the Airspun translucent powder, and I'm going over the entire eyelid and the eyebrow so that when I put the eyeshadow on, it doesn't stick to the concealer. And I put it on the eyebrows so that the eyebrows stay matte and they stay a little bit longer. And I'm using the Makeup by Mario palette, the new palette, and she just wanted a brown look. So you'll see me use, right now I'm using like a transition brown shade, and I take that to the upper part of the eyelid. And again, I'm in a kind of faster mode, but with the eyebrow, not the eyebrow, with the brush, I'm just pushing in that eyeshadow so it gives a good pigmentation, and then I kind of swipe just a little, but I'm basically patting it on the eyelid so that it gives a good color. So you'll see me use a transitional brown color, and then I'm doing it right now, so I'm using a darker brown just at the outer corner of the eyelid. It's just basically a darker brown color. And then you'll see me use like a cream color on the inner part of her eyelid. So I use 3 different colors. Honestly, I use a bunch of different colors in the palette, but it looks like 3 different colors. It's transitional at the top, the darker on the outer corner, and then that cream, what you see me doing now is a cream color palette. Or not palette, but a cream color eyeshadow. And then you'll see me use another brush right here is just like a straight angle brush, and I take the darkest brown and the black, and I just create like a simple eyeline look at the very bottom, and I don't wing it out. I just keep it at the bottom of the eyelid, and it makes the eyelash blend in a lot better. You don't see that band on the eyelash once I apply it. So I'm using just a makeup remover wipe, and I'm just wiping off underneath the eyes, and I wipe the entire face off as well. And then I go straight in with the e.l.f. Skin Holy Hydration face cream, the fragrance free one, and I just moisturize the entire face. It is very important that you do good skincare underneath the makeup, and it makes it last a lot longer as well. So I just blended that in, I massaged that in her face, and then underneath the eyes I use the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched eye base, and I just apply that to underneath the eyes. And this honestly helped with creasing. It helped a whole lot. It helps me at least, and you know, my clients as well with the creasing with the makeup. And I am using the e.l.f. what is this? The e.l.f. Putty Matte Putty Primer, and I'm just applying that to her T-zone just so that she stays, you know, away from looking oily today. And right here I'm using the Fenty foundation in shade 420. I'm just using it's almost like a paintbrush, but it's a makeup brush, and I just swipe it on the face just to make sure it's a good color match. And then I also mixed it with the Estee Lauder and Sandalwood shade, and I combined the two just so that it matches her skin color a lot better. And I am spraying with the Morphe setting spray before I blend it in, and I use the Paw Paw Wonder Blend sponges. It's not damped, it's just slightly moistened with water, and then you'll see me just push in the foundation. I pat on the skin. I lightly pat so I don't take away a lot of the foundation with the sponge, because that's what sponges do. I mean, I love using it with foundation, but sometimes it can kind of pull away of the makeup. So I lightly pat the foundation into the skin with this sponge. And make sure when you're blending out the foundation, you're going underneath the neck, you're going all the way to the ears, because you just want to make sure everything blends smoothly. You don't want it to look like a mask on her face. So I take that foundation, I blend it everywhere. Sometimes I take it all the way down to the neck if I need to. But here I am concealing the face. I'm using a Tarte Shape in shade Deep, and I'm going underneath the eyes. I take it to the forehead, I go down the nose bridge, I do the chin and underneath the nose. And then you'll see me take another Tarte Shape concealer in Tan Deep Sand, and then I just go to the inner corners just to give a little bit of brightness. Like I said, again, she wanted a natural face, so I didn't want to do too much, but just a quick little highlight that I decided to use with the Tarte. Okay, so now I am contouring. I'm contouring with the Black Opal and Ebony Brown, and I just contour the upper cheekbones, the foreheads. As you see, I do little marks on the forehead. I don't do a line going across the forehead, because I think I also spray with the Morphe setting spray, but I think it's easier to blend with when you do lines on the forehead versus a line. And I like the line on the cheekbones because it kind of gives it a better definition on the cheekbones, if that makes sense. So I'm using the Real Technique brush, and what brush is this? Brush 200, and I'm just pushing it in. I'm pushing it in almost as like I'm pushing in that eyeshadow. I go up and down with the brush. I take the cheekbones and then I carry it onto the forehead, and I push it into the hairline. So you'll see me kind of go back, and I make sure it blends into the hairline so you don't see any demarcations between the contour and the foundation on the forehead. And you just gotta make sure you take your time with blending everything out, because you want everything to look smooth. You don't want to see, you know, harsh lines or anything like that. So I just take my time and I blend in the contour. And then you'll see me take the Real Technique setting brush here, and then I blend in the cheek. I always start off in the same areas. So I'm starting off with the chin, and then you'll see me do underneath the nose, and then you'll see me do the edges of underneath the eyes, and then I go to the forehead, to the bridge of the nose, and then I go underneath the eyes. I save underneath the eyes very last, just so that gives it time to kind of get thicker, and it's doing its best job to conceal, baby. So that's the last area that I push in. And if you know, you know. I'll blend in the concealer on the forehead, and then you'll see me take the contour brush that I use to blend out that black opal, and I'll just kind of go back and forth between the two so that it's a nice blend between the two, so it's no harsh lines, like you see that harsh line right there. So you'll see me take a brush and I just kind of blended it in so that it flows in a lot better on the forehead. But I like to use a sponge to do the nose, just because the skin is smaller and it makes the line more defined still. But then I also go over it with a brush just to make sure it's not a harsh line, if that makes sense. So here I am using that sponge, and I'm pushing in the concealer. I'm not swiping it, I'm not moving it, I'm keeping it in the same place. And then you see me push, I take my time, because I just want to make sure I push out all any creases that could be possibly there. So I'll do one eye at a time, and I'll push in the concealer, and then you'll see me take the Sephora brush. What kind of brush? In 99, and then I push in the Maybelline Fit Me Press Powder in shade 330. Here it is right here, and I'm just pushing in, or I'm setting that concealer with that pressed powder. This method makes it looks a little bit more, I don't know the right word to say, but it looks smoother when you do a pressed powder and then you apply the loose powder on top. So again, I take my time, I push in the concealer underneath the eyes, and then I push in a pressed powder underneath with the brush. It doesn't have to be this particular brush, but it's a nice flat, thick brush. Almost kind of resembles like a loose brush and a sponge mixed together. But I take that and I push in that pressed powder underneath the eyes. And again, I'm pushing it in. I'm not swiping, I'm pressing it in the skin. Okay, so I think, yeah, this is the contour brush. So you see me kind of blending it in the concealer. And I don't have any extra product on it. I'm just kind of reinforcing that color on her skin. Okay, so I am using the One Size translucent powder, and I'm just using the little triangle puff thing. I don't even know what to call it, but you'll see me press it in the powder. I press it onto my wrist, and then I apply it on the skin, or I apply it on her face. I don't like to go directly into the face with the powder because I think it's just too much. It's easier to blend in when you press it on when I press it on my arm first, and then I push in that powder. It gives more of a seamless blend when I do this method. And I am not a baker. I do not bake on the face. The only areas that I bake on my face or client faces is the bridge of the nose and the side of the nose. So like I said, you'll see me kind of going to that one size top. Then I press into my skin to get rid of any extra loose powder, and then I apply it to her face. And I just push it in. I push it in so basically you don't see it anymore. You see, obviously you see it, but you don't see the white powder, if that makes sense. This is a really great powder. I mean, I absolutely love this loose setting powder. This is about to go grab when I'm doing my makeup, and I have to try to use that Huda Beauty or the Laura Mercier, but this loose powder, I don't know, it's the best to me. It blends in very well. So you see me do the forehead, and here I am. I'm just baking the bridge of the nose, like I said. Okay, so I hope y'all are not just watching and are not subscribed to my channel. I'm just asking you to press that subscribe button so that I can get more views, more likes. And like I said, I'm going to continue to post. I love makeup. So regardless, I'm going to do the makeup. I'm going to record me doing the makeup, and I'm going to post the makeup because, I mean, this is how I learned. I literally learned from YouTube on how to apply, on how to do makeup. So I just hope you subscribe to the video and just comment below and let me know what you guys want to see me do. I'm all into, you know, buying new makeup, trying new makeup, and performing it on myself or clients. So subscribe to the channel. Okay, so back to the makeup. Sorry, I used the black opal, of course, and bronze boot, and then I contoured the nose with that angle brush. And then you see me take that one size translucent powder, and like I said, I just baked the sides of the nose just so that there's no harsh lines on the nose from the contour. And then I'm using the Morphe palette, the Morphe face palette in 8D. And then I just go between the two shades, the two lighter shades, and then I contour the face. I'm basically setting that cream contour from black opal that we apply to the cheekbones and the forehead. I'm lightly applying that because, again, like I said, she wanted a natural face look. So I'm just patting this in the Morphe brush, in M527 brush. I did not cream contour underneath the jaw, so I'm just taking a little bit of the powder just to give a little bit of structure underneath that jawline. And I'm just taking, you know, a little bit of powder, and I'm going underneath the jaw just to kind of give a sharp, you know, or not even sharp, to get rid of any extra looking baggage underneath the jaw. And then I'm using that one size translucent powder, and I'm going under the cheekbones. And then I can always say, when I line it up, I go quickly directly with that foundation pressed powder, and I get rid of that line because I hate to see that line there. And then I just take a little powder brush, and I take the e.l.f. foundation in 425 neutral. I love this powder. It is like the truth. If you're my skin complexion or her skin complexion, this is the correct foundation shade. And I'm just, you see how quickly that brushed off that loose powder. And it get rid of that line because I hate having that line there. But I just like to create that sharp shape with that contour. And I'm just kind of going over the entire face with this foundation pressed powder. I go over the contour just slightly. I go over the forehead just to blend everything in together. And then this is the setting brush that I used earlier, and I'm just dusting away all of that loose setting, the loose setting one size powder. And then I'm just I see a little bit of a contouring that I wanted to fix up on the nose. So I went back to that brush. I don't think I added anything extra to the brush. I just went in and just added a little extra to the nose just to give her that good contour look on the nose. And then you see me pressing in with that setting powder. I don't have anything extra on the eye, on the brush, because again, she wanted a natural look. So I just pressed in that one size translucent loose powder. As you see right now, you don't see anything. You don't see any white color discoloration. I mean, it's a perfect blend. I just basically pressed in that loose powder. Okay, so I am lining her lips with the MAC liner in shade Chestnut. I don't try to go, overboard with overlining because, like I said, she wanted a supernatural look. So I'm lining it with the chestnut color. And she wanted like a pink, neutral, natural looking lip. So I went in with the Dose of Color, that Shayla in shade, what shade is this? Shade, I don't know if there's a shade on there. Final Touch And it's like a pink nude color, and you'll see me just color the inner part of her lips with that. And then I'll blend in everything with the NARS. It's like a pink lip gloss that's in shades, oh goodness, I can't even see, but it's like a pink shimmery lip gloss, and it's from NARS. And I just blended everything in together with that. Okay, here I am. I'm just underlining the under eye with the black color in Ruby Kisses, just a cheap hair store bought hair store product in Ruby Kisses. This is in shade black. And here I am. I just play with a couple browns that I use on her eye, and I just mix probably like 2 different colors, and I take it underneath the eye. Because again, like I said, she wanted a very natural look, so I just take a small little eyebrow, or not eyebrow, but eye brush, and then I push it underneath the eye. Like I said, there's nothing too brown, just to kind of blend it underneath the eye. And then I use the Essence mascara, and I just take it underneath the eye. I don't know if you can tell, but she wanted very small lashes. She does not like big lashes. So I have the lash on the right eye, and I was waiting for the glue to get a little bit more tackier on the left eye. And here it is. The left eye is applied the lashes. So I'm using that Flaunt shade highlighter, and I'm just pressing it in with that sponge, and I'm just going to the upper cheekbones, the nose, the tip of the nose, and the nose bridge, and that's it. She just want a little bit of highlighter to the face. I'm sorry I do not do a good recording after I'm finished, so you do not get a final look, but you can kind of see it once I do a final spray, which I'm doing now. This is the Charlotte Tilbury spray, and I'm just spraying the face, and then you'll see me take a brush and I push it in. And then you'll see me kind of notice the tip of the eyelash is not doing what it's supposed to do, so I'll take a little bit of that duo glue. It's just the very tip of the eyelash. It just wasn't attaching to the eyelid like I wanted to. So you see me applying just a little bit to the end of the eyelash, and then I'll press it in once I saw that it's tacky. But I'm pressing in that Charlotte Tilbury setting spray just so that it blends in well, and this is the final look. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching all the way through.